What did you do backstage? Like, what was your
costume design?
Duh. That makes sense. So first of all, Kirby, tell us about your journey and why you decided to open an Etsy shop of all things.
So I can't read a pattern and I crochet. I learned how to crochet from 3 pictures. And my grandmother, yeah, I know. My grandmother could crochet and knit, which is very unheard of. Like, you either do one or the other. You never do both. And she tried her damnedest to teach me how to knit. It didn't work out. When she became unable to crochet due to arthritis and Alzheimer's, it clicked. I could do everything. So I know it's a weird superpower. So yeah, I started making fingerless gloves for myself. I have long arms, and coats aren't made for long arms. So
I love fingerless gloves.
I know, me too. It's my jam. So then from there, I just kept plugging away, and people kept telling me, you should have an Etsy store. So I did, and my style of what I make has changed and grown over the years, and now I make strictly geek and other fandoms, and lately I've been focusing on trying to help the queer community to get more merchandise for them in their in various prides. So yeah, it's just what I do.
What did you said that you've kind of transitioned into geekdom.
Yeah.
What did you originally start with? And then how did you figure out that's what you wanted to go towards?
So I started with making hats that look like fruits and vegetables.
Oh, cute.
And much to my mother's confusion, I made them for adults. She thinks everything I do is for kids.
Because why would there be adults in the world who would want that stuff, right?
Yeah, she really doesn't understand millennials. My mom's a boomer. Even though she has millennial children, she doesn't get it. I started with hats that look like fruits and vegetables, hats that look like animals. It moved into hats that look like Viking helmets with full beards.
Oh, that's cute.
From there, it went into knights' helmets with plumage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw a hood of a picture of a little girl wearing a fox hood, I think it was. I was like, oh, I can probably figure that out. So then I made a few animal hoods.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, everything I make is just from me looking at pictures, a lot of Google pictures of the actual items. So for knight's helmets, I was looking at real helmets and then seeing them from all different angles and being like, okay, that's just shapes. I can break this down. So the same goes for animals. So I was like, okay, the color should be this. Okay, we're good. And it's a lot of trial and error. And then from there, my husband took me to see the Deadpool movie when it came out for Valentine's Day. And that's pretty much when the geek stuff started. I saw Deadpool and loved him. And I hit my husband in the middle of it. I was like, I need to make him in a hood. And so then I started making my first, started with Deadpool. All started with Deadpool.
Yeah, I've seen your Deadpool. It's pretty cool.
And that one's even evolved. The first one wasn't as cool. But they never start out as cool. It takes time.
When you look at the pictures and then you're figuring out what the design's going to be, do you for yourself draw anything out?
Very rarely.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Sometimes I need it to, I'm dyslexic. So sometimes things need to come from here to go here to go here. Like it needs to, like, I need to make the motion with my hand so it'll process the rest of the way through up here.
Mm-hmm.
It's so there's an occasion if something's not working right, then I'll like draw it out. But typically if I do, it's just really horrible looking on a sketch app I have on my iPad, and it's like me with my finger just like coloring things and go like writing scratch notes and stuff like that.
Yeah. How did you focus in on hoods and fingerless gloves?
I found that I like doing them the most. I have a lot of like rules, personal rules for my business about branding, about how like I want to do just like 2 types of things and not be all over the place all the time.
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like, it's kind of like a restaurant with only a couple of menu items. Like there's a clear vision here. And that way I can set up my rules saying, no, I won't do a scarf for you. I'm sorry.
Right.
You can contact my friend over here. Like, no, I won't do a beanie. That's not my jam.
Right.
Like, I found what I like in a shape that I'm confident in, then I stick with it.
So it wasn't based on like sales or what people were telling you. It was more about like, this is the thing that I want to create and put out in the world.
Yep. Yeah, I'm really pretty like selfish with my, like, this is what I want to do. You're going to like it. Done. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And
now within that though, how do you decide your inventory? Like how do you decide a Deadpool versus an LGBTQ versus who did you do recently from Nightmare Before Christmas?
Oogie Boogie.
Oogie Boogie. How do you, or is that also like, this is what I want to tackle today?
It's a lot of like during the typical, if I have shows coming up, if I'm gearing for like a certain type of show and I've done it in the past, I'll know what kind of people go there. So, or they'll have a certain like guests coming. So I'll be like, oh, so they're going to have a lot of people from, I don't know, from Marvel stuff. So I'll try and like have a nice bit of that to kind of balance. Or some Harry Potter people are going to be there. So I'll have a good stock on Potter. Like, but I found that for like during now, I'm just doing things that I'm inspired to do. It's all about like things that make me happy, things that bring me joy will help other people to find joy. So, because it's my weird little way of like trying to give back to everybody else. It's just to kind of help everyone find some joy.
Nice. What are some of your favorite fandoms, like you personally?
So I love the Wizarding World. I am a very proud Ravenclaw. Yes. And I don't know. I like Marvel a lot. I love me some Oogie Boogie, hence why I did him. I like Disney. My fandoms like go crazy. I love so many things.
Yeah.
One of the only things I can do while crocheting is watch TV. So I watch an epic ton of television.
Yeah, you do, but you get into you find stuff that a lot of people don't find because of that.
Oh yeah, no. And
for instance, thank you for recommending the Dragon Prince. Oh my gosh, did I love it so much? And I can't wait for it to come. I missed it when I got to the end. I was like, I don't have any more episodes.
I know.
It's so good.
Like, I was so inspired that I made, I made Zim as a hood. Yes. Because, like, that's what I do. I just eat a television show live, and then I make some stuff if it translates for me. Like, it has to, I have to be able to work it out.
Yeah.
Not everything translates.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that. Yeah. So, but then what happens when, like, for instance, I'm a singer and a performer, and I know that there's a lot of, a lot of not your self-esteem, but how you feel about something depends on feedback. So if you are in love with the show, you make something and it doesn't
And it
sell.
falls flat.
Yeah. Are you like crushed, or are you like, meh, I gave it a shot?
At this point, I've gotten really used to, if something doesn't go after like 2 years, I call it reworking. I will just take it apart, or
Oh,
take most of it apart and make it into something else.
interesting.
Yeah, so when I first got started, like in year 2 of doing geek stuff,
Mhm.
I made all 4 Ninja Turtles as hoods, and they went nowhere. They went
Really?
absolutely nowhere.
That
Absolutely nowhere.
surprises me.
I know,
That
me
surprises
too. Me too. I live with a man who is like totally in love with the Ninja Turtles and watched them as a child. So like I expected them to fly. They didn't. So Ninja Turtles have now become Ocarina of Time Link hoods.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I fillet them open, extend them out. Yeah. And they sell. Like it's yeah, it's crazy. I did a Wolverine hood,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't go anywhere. Like classic yellow Wolverine, nowhere. So Wolverine got repurposed into all of the new rainbow stuff. Anything with a rainbow has a little Wolverine in it. I figured he would be into that.
He would be.
Yeah, he's friends with Deadpool. He'd be cool with it.
And does the rainbow stuff go?
Yes. Oh, yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wild.
Sometimes things just need to work into something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you get a particular hood, the design pretty well set, how long does it take you to make one? Like, not the first time you're making it, but when you really know what you're doing.
Yeah. It depends. I tend to do everything in assembly line process if I'm making a few things at the same time. Mainly because I like to put things off. So like when I'm doing something with great big horns, and I do a couple with really big ram's horns, the ram's horns take the longest part. So I'll just make the hoods first, and I'll set the holes in, and then I'll make their ears and like put everything inside the hood, and then I'll leave it on a pile, and I'll go back to it when I feel like doing ram's horns. But
productivity experts would tell you that's the way to do it. So you're being pretty smart about it.
Yeah. But typically, like if I went start to finish, soup to nuts on something, can take anywhere from like 5 hours if I'm super inspired to work, to 12 hours if I'm really being distracted. My biggest problem is my friends are rather chatty, and they want me to type back to them. And so the nice thing about like this quarantine stuff is that everybody's pro video chat, and I can hook like no tomorrow on a video chat.
Sure, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, when we go, when we go back, you got to keep them on the video chat.
Yeah,
right?
it's so much easier because every time I put the hook down, is like it's harder to pick it back up. Like it's like anything.
You got to think back. Okay, where was I? That's right. This many. Blah blah. I totally get it.
For me, I'm really lucky. My hands tend to know everything that they're doing. So I can crochet with my eyes closed. I can look directly at you like I'm doing right now, and my fingers are still going. Because I learned to crochet in the dark, being backstage at theater, I used to like work on something. It would lay across my shoulder, and I would work on it in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you get really good.
What did you do backstage? Like, what was your
costume design?
Duh. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you were dressing people and miking people and all that good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. What are some of the favorite cons or shows that you go to? You go to a ton, and this year, of course, has sucked. But like, which are the ones through the year that you really look forward to?
Great Philly Comicon outside of Philly is it's a fantastic show. It's an absolutely fantastic show. The guy who runs it, he runs a really good con. They get amazing guests. It's really well laid out. So those things all are wonderful. Sci Fi Valley Con up in Altoona is wonderful.
Really?
Yeah. Casey, the guy who runs that one, he is really honest and open with his vendors, with his artists. He cares a lot, and he tries to do as much as he can to like make your experience better. And Shore Leave in Maryland. It's a sci-fi trek con, and it's run by a group of fans. And there's two women named Deb who are their vendor coordinators, and they are so sweet, and they bring you water, and they like check on you, and and they call you. That doesn't happen very often. Like when they wanted to ask me a question my first year, they called me on the phone, and I was really alarmed by that. They're boomers.
Right.
They use the phone. It's so weird.
But very personal that way.
Yeah, no, it's so sweet. They know who you are. They come around at the end of the show and individually ask everyone, like, how can we make your experience better for next year?
Nice.
And if you, like, last year, it was a little bit less, and the attendance was down slightly. And they were really concerned, and they were like, we're going to do a whole post-mortem about this. Please give us all your feedback. Like, how can we fix? Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. And then, of course, you do, well, I think you do Ren Fair still.
I do Ren Fair and sell within a different booth.
Okay.
Because I personally make copper roses at Ren Fair. And so I have friends who have a booth, and they sell my stuff. Gotcha. This year, I was planning to do like a guest vendor spot with my friend Heather from Lips Domestic. We do a conjoined effort and call ourselves Happy Hookers. Mm-hmm. And so we were going to guest vend this year, and with this year being very up in the air, we don't know.
Yeah. What does that mean, guest vend? Being a guest vend?
It just means, like Emily, Tomboy Togs does it. So basically, you can bring a tent. They try and encourage you to bring a period-appropriate tent, or for guest vendors, you can have like a pop-up, but you have to like trick it out. So you can't see the ugly parts. And you just set up for like one weekend or two.
Oh, okay. So you're not signing on for the whole season?
For the whole season. No, we're not ready for that yet.
Gotcha. I see. I was picturing, like, does that mean you're a vendor part-time and then you're in some show part-time? I really did not understand.
No, it means that, you just basically do a weekend.
Gotcha.
But it's a nice place to start. Yeah.
Yeah, up in the air, Lordy. It usually starts, does it start in August or September?
It does, August. We run August through October.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
I know. But frankly, I would rather us take the side of caution and skip fun things like that so that we can do them next year.
Yeah, absolutely. rather than, because really, if you jump the gun, then this is going to go on even longer than it
Forever.
should. Yeah.
Ever.
You're just going to constantly go back and forth instead of just being done with it.
Yeah.
So you have this incredible artistic side to you, but as a business, you have to then have like the business hat that you wear. How has that been, like, going from, okay, I'm just making this for myself, but now I'm dealing with like people and their money, and sometimes they're nasty and sometimes they're great. How has that been?
It's both easy and hard. Like, if you have any kind of like retail experience, you've had to deal with humans. And I do a lot of, before I do a con or something like that, like there's a certain playlist I listen to. There's a lot of preparation and a lot of me trying to like get in the place where I have to deal with humans.
Yeah.
I'm really lucky because I have a supportive husband. So any of the big shows, he comes with me.
Nice.
And he knows, he can sense when to like pick up the slack. Yeah, he's like my like seizure dog. Like, he can smell it in the air and he's like, must pick up slack now. And it will be like, go sit down, relax. I got this. Take a walk. Yeah. But
that can be draining.
Oh, it's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting because you have to be super up the whole time and just smiling and saying hi, even though they're walking past you. You got to be really excited about life.
Yeah, true. Have you been able to use Etsy to supplement some of the income that you lost because you can't do shows this year?
Yeah. So Etsy has been great for that. And then I've also, there's a lot of Facebook groups now.
Oh, good.
For vendors to be able to connect with people who can't go to cons now. So I'm in one for Ren Fair and one for like cons. And you kind of bop back and forth between these two. People will put out these things in search of they'll list like all the fandoms they're into and what kind of things they're looking for. And then you comment with, oh, I got this for you. I do this. Here's this link. Check this out. Yeah. I've gotten a couple of people from that, but some people have come just sheerly from, I've upped my social media scene like as much as I can. And I do weekly like hands at work videos and stuff like that. And I just started doing try on videos of my new stuff. I do them once a month. Yeah, I was inspired actually by your try on videos for your Torrid try on videos. I know personally a friend of mine who is a follower of your videos. She saw you try on the cape, the Harry Potter cape, and that was the thing that was like, oh, I should buy that. I
love that thing.
I know, it's gorgeous.
I just wore it on Monday to a wedding.
Oh, wow! You went to a wedding?
Yeah, it was one of my friends. I don't know if you know her, Renee Panzini. She's a wedding officiant, and she had a couple who wanted specifically to be married on May the 4th because one is a big Star Wars fan and the other is a Harry Potter fan.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, their venue postponed. So what they did was they met in a park outside. It was a very small, very, very small group of people, probably just immediate family. I went to take pictures for Renee for her to put on Instagram. She was dressed in a Darth Vader cloak and stuff. And so they had their social distanced ceremony on May the 4th so that their certificate could say
May the 4th.
It was very cool.
Beautiful.
And then in July, they'll have their big shebang.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
here's hoping.
It was so windy and cold, so I wore my awesome.
Yeah.
Any excuse I have to wear that Harry Potter cloak, man.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. That thing's gorgeous.
Well, so this is interesting to me that you started doing the Instagram videos because I'm a huge proponent of video marketing. So I love that you were inspired to do it. So, has it been fun?
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. So on the days that I do try on videos, I do 2 of them. I start on Instagram for an hour, and then I'll do Facebook for an hour.
Are you doing these live then?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And I take a half an hour in between to like pet the cats, take a deep breath, drink water, eat a little something, like, and then get back in there.
Yeah, because it's fun, but it is also draining because you have to be so like
on
and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, so, that is really cool.
Yeah, and then I try on hoods, or I'll explain like, this is why I made this choice. This is why I do this. Like, this is, for example, who do I got here? Like, so these are my my new Black Panther gloves. And I wanted to take and do like the purple.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't have like the purple on his wrists, like at all. It doesn't extend down to there. Or in my pictures, he's never gotten hit in the wrist.
Right.
But we're going to act like he got hit in the wrist.
Sure.
And then I wanted to go through and sew in all of he actually has across his knuckles, he'll have the little, the claws. And so I wanted to take a moment and do those. Like, it's those kind of things. Typically people don't understand when I make gauntlets for Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel, they aren't like the encompass of Wonder Woman. Like, it's not like, now we put stars on here, and now we do this. No, it's not all of her. It's her gauntlets. I was inspired by her gauntlets, so that's what they look like. And same for Captain Marvel. Like, they're all red. They're not like red and blue like her entire outfit is, but her actual gloves are all red. Right.
They're more like movie accurate than
like the same goes for explaining to people why they can't have just 2 infinity gauntlets instead of infinity gauntlet and a Tony Stark hand. Like, yeah. So like, and I explain to them when I'm at shows, I'll say stuff like, because 2 infinity gauntlets is too much power for anyone to have.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to.
No.
It wouldn't make sense.
It doesn't. But
no, I'm with you. It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, but these are different, like, little things that a picture on my Instagram or a picture on Facebook or a picture in my Etsy listing doesn't like explain to you. Like,
right.
This is why you don't have 2 infinity gauntlets. This is the special cool thing that I cared too much. So I know that Tony Stark is right-handed, and that's why the infinity gauntlet is on the right hand. Thanos is left-handed. He's the one that's left-handed. So all my infinity gauntlets for Thanos are left-handed.
Interesting. Yeah, video can be very powerful that way. You're right in that a photo can't always get it.
Convey, yeah.
Yeah. And have you gotten good feedback then from your video?
Yeah, it's really nice. I have a couple of fans that watch like every video I do. They will bounce from Instagram to Facebook just to like stay in the. I know there's some good girls. They watch every single one of my hands at work videos. They talk. Yeah, it's great.
Do they crochet?
No.
Oh, interesting. Oh,
no, awesome. They just belong to me. So.
Oh, nice. Super fans. I love it. That's great.
And the one girl, I think she has 4 of my hoods now.
Wow.
I know. She's always my example to people when they're like, "Oh, I already have one." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know a girl has 4 and she wants a 5th." Like, it's okay.
Well, yeah. You know, when you find something you like, you're going to be loyal.
Multiples. It's fine.
Yeah. What would you say having your own business venture, like, how did it change your life that you didn't expect? as a maker?
As a, like, it's allowed me to meet all kinds of amazing people that I wouldn't have been able to meet.
Yeah.
Like, from just doing this, from going to cons, from like living this whole life. It's giving me opportunities to like go places and do things and meet people. They're really cool. It's given me great opportunities to like be creative. I've truly found that not having a creative outlet, I've become rather crabby. So it's really helped me to kind of stay happy.
Well, and a creative outlet that the public
Appreciates,
sees, interacts with, because like you, theater, when you can have a creative outlet, like you can make stuff for yourself or for your own house, but I think that you probably need that creative thing then to be put out into the world, and have that feedback, that interaction, that, check this out kind of aspect to it.
It helps.
Yeah. What would you say, like, when you daydream, what do you daydream about doing with your business? Like, what do you think, like, your dream next step would be?
I want to do some of the really big cons. Like right now, I do C size, like if they're alphabetical, and A size cons are like wizard and dragon and like San Diego, like scary things, like bajillions of people, and they're terrifyingly too big. Yeah, I'm never gonna do that. That's scary.
They're huge. Yeah.
But I do cons, like the next level is like Awesome Con and a couple of the other like big but not too big,
right,
not as scary cons, and then under is the size that I do. I do C's and D's. Like, I would like to add a few B size cons into my life. I want to do Awesome Con. I want to do KetsuCon.
Oh yeah.
Possibly not as just me, but to bring Lips Domestic along and to do it as Happy Hookers, because then it's less scary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then you have somebody like right there in the thick of it with you, and I won't have to drag my husband along.
Well, and then also if you share with someone,
it keeps costs down.
You don't have to fill up a whole booth with just, you know what I mean, build up the inventory.
That's the really scary part. It's I want to be able to eventually do 2 shows in 1 month. Right now I can't, because it's like I can only hook as fast as I can hook.
Right.
And it's just this hand. This hand does all the work.
Do you experience issues like and stuff? Yeah.
Yes. And arthritis runs in my family. Like, I know that there is just this boulder chasing me down a hill. It's fine. Ideal. My husband's very good at understanding that when I put my hand over like to him, he's like, oh, I will rub it now. And I do all kinds of like crazy hand stretches that have been, they look a lot like I'm working magic in Magicians, but it helps a little bit. And
do you have other like self-care practices for the arthritis and the carpal tunnel, like anything that helps you manage all that?
Acupuncture when we're not under all of this.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot of hand massages. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you do like heat or cold or anything?
Sometimes it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's as easy as like I do a lot of aromatherapy or using mint oil and lavender oil, and that'll help some.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If if a geek maker came to you and said, I'm starting my own making business, I'm opening an Etsy shop, etc., what would you tell them that you wish you would have known when you started?
Understand that Etsy is hard. Don't be scared when you don't have any sales for the first couple of months. That Etsy is hard, and that you're trying to get somebody from somewhere in the middle of the country who's never heard of you a day in their life to trust you, and you've had like no sales. So yeah, it's a scary zone. Like,
right, no testimonials, no sales.
You don't want to be the first person, like,
right.
So my suggestion is, if somebody contacts you, it's how I got my first couple of sales, it'll help. If somebody contacts you and they're like, oh, can you make me this? And you're like, sure. List it through your Etsy store. Even though it's going to cost you 20 cents and then they're going to take their cut and all this, push it through your Etsy store. Have them buy it from there. And then they can leave you feedback. And then you have a sale. And then, like, somebody who's a stranger will buy your stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you. I both buy and sell on Etsy, and it is hard when someone doesn't have a high number of sales or testimonials to trust them that they're that they're going to do what they say. And yeah,
we've all heard the horror stories from like the early days of eBay.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so like.
Yeah,
you just don't trust them. I know. I make that face about eBay too. But yeah, like that is my biggest thing. I have a couple of new crafters, like they're under my wing right now, and they cry a lot about lack of sales. And I'm like, don't worry about it. Just keep plugging. Just keep pushing your social media. Put more pictures out there.
Yeah, and I think it probably, and no one wants to hear it, I think it probably takes a year for the coding and the keywords and everything to sink into the search engine. Not just Etsy search, but also Google. Because one of the beautiful things about Etsy is that if somebody Googles for something, an Etsy link will come up. But yeah, it's definitely the long game. So that is excellent advice.
It's hard, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
And it's really worth it when you have those golden moments, when you have somebody like respond to you and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you have this, or anything like that. Like where you get to like warm somebody's heart and they send you the pictures of them rocking whatever you made. Another suggestion for new crafters is to like use your Instagram. Put up stories. I say this constantly to my friends. Yes, because I am quite a few of my friends millennial. So I'll say things like, use your stories, use them more. When somebody tags you, write something different. Don't just put up the thing that somebody has tagged you in. Like, do something. Yes.
Right.
Pimp out your own stuff. Don't be afraid.
That's very good advice, because one of the things I think people are afraid of, and I hear this a lot from my clients in digital marketing, is on your end, you're seeing all the stuff you put out, but the people on the other end don't necessarily see every single post or story. They might be seeing 1 in 10. So that is great advice too.
Hashtags are key to everything.
Yeah.
Use your 30 hashtags that Instagram lets you have.
Yeah. Look at you. You know some stuff.
Yeah, a few things.
Well, this has been an excellent interview, Kirby. I sincerely appreciate you taking some time out of your hooking to talk, although you can kind of hook and talk at the same time.
I can.
Yeah. Is there anything that you want to promote from your shop?
I am really happy about the fact that I've been doing these cool F-bombs for when you need to drop one.
I saw those, yeah.
But I've started doing them in all different prides. Like I said before, I was really recently inspired by a couple of my friends that are involved with like Lancaster Pride's community and everything else. And I always vend at Lancaster Pride. And with this year being so up in the air, and with this year, with everything being so hard on mental health, that where I don't have the skills to like make masks. That's not my thing. I can't do that for you. I don't trust myself with patterns because I can't read them. But what I can do is try and like make people who don't regularly get seen feel like they've been seen, and like somebody is on their side giving a shit about like their mental health, like caring about if they feel like somebody is like, I know that you are gender fluid, or like I've started doing the really under recognized, under like provided for prides, like demi-gender, and I've reached out to a lot of like queer communities to try and get them to send me more. And I've had on Instagram, I've had like people respond to me and say, I never see my stuff for demi romantic. Can you make that? And I'm like, sure. So I just sent one out the other day, a demi romantic one. But like it's my way to try and help everybody feel a little bit better about everything.
To be
a little
seen.
Bit of joy. To be seen. A little bit of joy here. Yeah. So
for those of you watching, if you go to plussizenerd.com/Kirby with a K, Kirby, that is my affiliate link, and it will take you directly to Kirby's shop. Yeah, and you can see those F-bombs for yourself.
And there's a third wave I'm hoping to do maybe over the weekend. They'll have lesbian bombs. I think I'm going to do 2 varieties, and some of like the offshoots of Ace.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm learning.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it, and I hope, fingers crossed for Ren Fair and some more cons to come.
Yeah, we can hope.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kirby. I'll talk to you later. Bye.